today interviewing this beautiful young woman who's going to be one of the top graduates of Lakeview High School this year. Her name is Sandra Arevalo. Did I say that right?
You sure did.
And she is so outstanding, I wanted to share her information with our audience. Sandra moved here when she was the 5th grade.
Yeah, the 5th grade.
Went to Altaloma,
Mhm.
then to Lincoln, now at Lakeview High School. And she is an up-and-coming scholar for ASU, which I would like our audience to know a little bit more about. Tell us what it took for you to be an up-and-coming scholar and how you have stayed one and what it will mean for you to be an up-and-coming scholar.
Okay, well, I got chosen the second half of my 8th grade year. And Up-and-Coming Scholars is a program where you're supposed to maintain your A/B average all throughout high school, your entire high school career. And they choose you in the 8th grade. I don't know how they chose me. I think they just asked teachers or counselors or something like that. But they check up on us every year. Every summer we go to summer activities. It's really fun. And this next coming fall I'm going to be entering as an up-and-coming scholar at ASU, and I'm looking forward to that.
And what will you reap from being an up-and-coming scholar, and what must you do in return?
I can't let them down. They're giving me they're paying for my tuition and fees, which is the majority of the really costly part of college. So my mom's really glad that I have that scholarship. She doesn't have to pay for that. But I have to maintain a pretty good GPA, 3.0, so I can't let myself slack, and I have to make something of myself. That's the whole part of the program. That's what they're hoping, that I do something in return.
Well, they're going to invest in you, and then you have to keep this 3.0 average, and what a great opportunity for you. But when I found out how many dual credit classes and how many AP classes you were taking and being very successful, that tells all of us that you are going to meet their requirement. Let's tell our audience about your class schedule this school year. First semester you took 2 AP classes, which were?
My 2 AP classes were physics and calculus.
And you then took also 2 dual credit, which means she is getting college credit as well as high school credit at the same time. And what were those dual credit courses?
My first semester I took economics and English 1301, and this second semester I'm taking economics and English 1302.
Which English 1301 is freshman in college English first semester, and 1302 is freshman English for college second semester. So when you graduate, not just in dual credit, you would have the 12 college hours. But then if you take your AP exams and pass them, you could also have an additional 12 college hours. So essentially, you could be a sophomore when you graduate from high school, which is absolutely phenomenal. I also talked to Sandra about what she enjoys most about high school, and I want to tell you 2 things about her. One, which this is highly unusual, that a young person your age would say, when I ask, what have you enjoyed the most, and you would say National Honor Society.
Yeah.
Tell me why that has been a pleasure for you, and why that was at the top of your list.
I love NHS. My junior year, I tried to be in NHS. I didn't make it because I didn't fill out my form correctly. I didn't want to brag about myself. I felt like if I put everything I've done before, it was like I was bragging. I didn't want to do that. I found out that's what you needed to do. So whenever I wanted to be in NHS this year, I gave my application to the BCIS teacher. That's Miss Allen. She's in charge of it over at Lakeview High School. And I got accepted into National Honor Society, and I love it. We do just about everything. We have to keep our grades up, which is important, and we get to help the community a lot. We do community service all the time.
Tell me, what are some examples of things that you all have done this school year?
Okay, well, we have Healthy Families. That's where we go and we help out. We do our Christmas with them. They go and they give them this big Christmas feast, and we give them presents. You get to see all the little ones like enjoy the presents that we gave them. We do the Halloween festival before that, and that's a lot of fun. We set up, this is building, the Healthy Families building over by Shannon, and we set up all these games and stuff for all the youth to go out there. It's a lot of fun. And we do sonrisas. That's really fun. This past week for the rodeo, we go out there and we help kids that are challenged, and it's a lot of fun.
That's a therapeutic horse.
Yeah.
Experience for young people. That I have a nephew who gets to participate in that, who's normally in a wheelchair, and so that's a worthy organization.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that you mentioned that you've just learned about yourself this year, when I asked, what do you enjoy doing, and you said your spare time is filled mostly with studying, which is also, by the way, wonderful.
My mom thinks it.
Yeah, I'm sure your mom does, so do I. But the other thing that you learned this year about yourself, you took at school from one of the great art teachers at Lakeview High School. This school district has some of the best art teachers I've ever seen in my career, and Lakeview has some wonderful ones. But you took your first painting class and realized that God has blessed you with some ability. So what are some things you've been able to do this year in that class?
Well, I never thought I could even draw. If I was asked to draw something, stick figures was what I did. I can't draw. And then I started this year in painting with no hopes whatsoever for it, and my teacher, Mrs. Parker, who's, by the way, is a great teacher.
Yes, she is.
She told me just to stop whining, pick up that paintbrush, and actually, I made a flower. I made a real pretty flower scene. It was really pretty, and I just picked up from there, and she taught me a lot of different ways. We do collages all the time with old artwork. We put collages together. We use different kind of products. We make a lot of pretty neat stuff, and then this past week, a lot of my classmates' stuff was shown in the rodeo, the art show, the art fair over there, and it's pretty neat to see that I'm actually doing something in art. I never thought I was an artistic person at all, and it came out that I pretty much enjoy it a lot. It's different.
Well, you're not the only person that whom I've known, who has a little bit older found out that they had some gifts, and I would encourage you, whether it's just something for your own pleasure, that you, when you have time, further pursue developing your gifts in that regard. It may be after you get out of college. Sandra, tell me about a particular teacher that you think has had a tremendous impact on you, and why?
Well, I'd have to say that'd be my 8th grade teacher, Mr. Ecker. He was my algebra teacher. It was my first AP honors class at Lincoln, and it was really, really hard. He taught me to be as much of a perfectionist as he could. If there was a decimal missing, wrong answer. He was really taught me to try hard, just strive for excellence all the time. And it was really worth it at the end of the year. He chose me to be one of his algebra students of the year. Mr. Ecker really taught me that when you get your report card and you get an A on that report card, it means a lot more whenever you got it working hard than just having it handed to you. And he really was one of those teachers that taught me to work hard and that it'll pay off.
Well, we will pass on your kind words to him because I know I've been in his classroom and he is an excellent teacher. And what a nice thing for you to say about how he impacted you.
Yeah.
Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Right now, I'm really looking into being a dermatologist.
What?
Something about that just attracts me. I really like it. It'd be something nice to do and to give back to people. And that's just something I'd like to do in the
you
future.
mentioned to me earlier that you aspire to go to med school, and with the work ethic you have shown and your teachers have told us, you can do that if you continue on with the same kind of work ethic that you have described and others have described about you, and remembering that the pleasure you have received out of doing the community service through National Honor Society to find you a niche, even when you're the very busiest in your life in college and after college, find something, some way to give back to your world and not just work on things for yourself. Do you know where you would like to live? Because Sandra has told me that she spent her childhood outside of Chicago and has still family there. So do you have a dream of where you might like to live?
I want to live here, somewhere in Texas. I really liked it. We moved down here, and it's a really beautiful place, and there's a lot of opportunity here. So I'm planning on staying here, somewhere in Texas for sure. Maybe San Angelo. I can open up my own business, dermatology. You guys can see me in a few years from now. That'd be really neat. I would be your customer. Or your patient, I should say. Well, it's a pleasure to know a young woman who's going to graduate in a class of over 200 students, at one of the top students in the class, somewhere around 4, maybe, she's told us. Hopefully I can go up.
And go on as an up-and-coming scholar to ASU. And that science department over at ASU will help you get into med school. And we're going to follow your career, young lady. You are a beautiful young woman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.